We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Can you hear it?
One.
Action.
What's up, guys?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
That's good.
It's good.
It's good.
As you can see, we are trying something else new.
Yes.
We're trying a single camera shoot today. And we're going to see if you guys like it. Yeah. And if you don't like it, you guys can go F your... No, I'm kidding.
You can go...
It'll be a lot easier.
Check out that shirt, though. Check out that shirt, that Fuck 2020 shirt. I'm guessing that's Dylan Francis.
It is Dylan Francis.
Shout out
to Dylan Francis for this cool shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to do a new format. Not say format, but different layout for the video.
100%.
A few weeks ago, we took the headphones out. Aesthetically, that's different. So far, it's been going well.
Yeah.
We used to shoot with 2 cameras. Now we're going to try to shoot with 1 camera because it's a 4K camera. We can crop if we want to. I think I might just lay it out.
It's a
the 4K
camera. I can crop if I want to. Crop if I want to. You'd probably crop too if it was up to you. Da, 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 da. Okay.
Anyway, welcome to the Terrible Reception Radio Show
Yes.
/ podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jay Suarez, a.k.a.
Flight 451 from New York to California.
A.k.a. Jet Plane J.
Jet Plane Suarez.
On all social media platforms. Once again, Jet Plane Suarez. If you're looking for me on Xbox, because Jet Plane J was already taken.
Challenge accepted.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then to my right today is my co-host.
My name is Parlay, aka Trap Jesus on Instagram. You guys can give me a nice little follow. I'm like 500 away from 3,000, so I can be Trap Jesus 3,000.
Look at that.
It's kind of like Andre 3000.
Trap 3000. I could call you Trap 3 Stacks now.
But then I feel like I like do nothing but workout videos.
True. Oh man, just have to do the videos like.
We're like, oh, it's Trap 3000 in the house. Make sure you drink a gallon of milk every day.
It's disgusting. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, turn on that bell notification on YouTube if you haven't already. That way you get a notification every time we drop a video, any podcasts. Any podcast video, and whenever we drop a music video of any kind, which we are in the works.
We have our 3rd official, unofficial member that joined the show today. We have Baby Yoda, ladies and gentlemen.
Baby Yoda, say hi.
Guys love how he says hi, don't you guys?
He's saying it telepathically. Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Not but leave a review, leave a rating. That way it pushes up in the rankings. And also on Spotify, just follow the podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. And and we will be airing like every week on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays on Power 98.5 Radio. We haven't done that in a while.
No.
First thing off the bat.
Yes.
Somebody told me, and I'm gonna shout her out. Shout out to Roxana, aka Ranzoli on Instagram. She told me I made her uncomfortable about how close I'm to the microphone. And to that, I say this: Rona, wipe it down. Anyway, want to start off with the first segment of the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
We could start off with the first segment of the show is Signal Check.
Okay.
Which we check in with each other, mental health wise, health in general, or how we are doing on this particular week.
I think the only thing that we're missing... I started last
time, so you go.
No, for sure. Only thing that we're missing, I feel like... it's actually like I saw Rode came out with this thing. I'm not that I'm late on it. I'm late on mentioning it, but they have the Rode Podcaster, and I saw that you can like put up to like 8 channels for guests. You can also have like your telephone guest thing, but you also have the buttons like a kind of like an NPC pad where you can trigger sounds. So we have to be like signal check.
We might have to invest in something like that. So you can use it like a soundboard, basically.
It's a soundboard that goes right here, so you can see levels with guests. You can get a caller in.
Can we put a horn on
Yeah,
there?
yeah. You
Like,
can put any sounds. You can make the sounds that you want.
Oh.
So yeah,
How much is it?
600.
Okay. We're just going to have to wait. You're gonna have to use our phone for now.
But
signal check.
Signal
How you doing
check
this week?
Basically, I had a great visit to the Montclair Therapy Center. It's on Plymouth Street in Montclair. The lady that runs the business, I will give her name real quick. Basically, I went there. I feel like I had like an impingement in my right arm, and basically it's hasn't gotten better over the years because, you know, we do a lot of videography and photography work, and
Using
you know,
arms and shoulders quite a bit.
yeah, when you do arms and shoulders, especially when you're lifting from above, especially, you know, kind of like with the whole putting lights up and stuff like that, it gets pretty crazy. But the doctor's name is Terry Andino. She was such a delight to you know, I guess encounter. She really knows her job really well. She took all precautions, I guess, that you do during COVID. She had the mask. She had the thing to check your temperature. She had hospital grade air purifiers. And then on top of it, the bed was really, not like, I wouldn't say the bed, but the client's table.
What would they call that? I think they do just
massage table.
Massage table.
Yeah, the client massage table had kind of elevation for your legs, and like it was heated, but it was very comfortable. And just, she didn't have to go hard on my muscles, but she like found every trigger point, and like she would just press on them until the blood flow would stop, and then the blood flow, the releasing through the muscle would untangle the knots. So like today I am pain free 100%. I got a great night of sleep last night, and I just wanted to put her small business out there, because when somebody does their job really well and is super nice and makes a very comfortable environment for you, I think those people definitely need a shout out.
Black owned business too, right?
Black owned business, yes. So they're either black or Hispanic, might be a mix of both, but she was very nice. She reminded me of like Jules' mom. You know what I'm saying? So she had that look.
What's her last name?
Andino. I don't know. Maybe she
Italian
married an Italian gentleman, but really cool. You know, little segment. It was an hour. You know, they have different pricing. I got something called neuromuscular type of massage, which was just very pain pinpointing, and it was really dope. And yeah, she's worked with like sports in a lot of sports athletes and different people, and she's great at what she does once again. And I had a great night with you guys last night. We went to a really cool French fusion restaurant that they opened just on Bloomfield Ave called Faubourg, I think it's pronounced that way, I'm not sure, but they had some.
You're the French one here, so
yeah I think it was called that. But it was really good. Jay and I had the same dish. We had a
Faubourg.
It was good.
FAUBOURG.
So that was delicious. We both had like a lamb ragu with pasta.
Oh, it was so good.
What else did we have? The macaroons. There was a lemon thyme crème brulee. Like, it was good. I was gonna say caramel, but it wasn't caramel. What else did they have? They had the French Kronenbourg beer, which I haven't had in a while since I've been in France. So that was really nice, and all around great evening.
Do you think that's one of those beers that if you get it in France, do they produce it in France?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
does it hit different in France?
It's a little more strong tasting. I don't know for what reason. Like in Europe, it's always more strong tasting. Like their pilsners and stuff like that, especially they come from Germany, have more bite. They're still light. They're light, but they have more bite, if that makes sense. That's what I like about that in general about like European beers, and I never get like the badass bubble guts like here. Like here, when it's too much hops and stuff like that, especially
Feel
like
bloated.
I know you like IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
When I drink an IPA, it's like next morning, it's like
For me, it just like sits right here.
yeah.
So
I think all in all, like I've had a great week. I got caught up with all like my clients in the sense of like editing stuff like that. Again, it was frustrating. I always feel like you never feel like your plate is empty in a good way until you get all the client work out of the way. It's always something just hanging over your head. Yeah. But shout out to Jay himself. He's an artist. I believe New York, New Jersey artist. I'm gonna,
New Jersey. I think he's from Newark.
He's from Newark.
Yeah, we've shouted him out on the gallery. A few weeks back. No, maybe a bunch of episodes ago. I think when we first started the gallery, we shouted him out.
I put a little compilation video together for him for a song that he's releasing. I don't want to say the name yet because I think he's releasing it either tomorrow or something like that. By the time you see this, though, it's probably going to be out. But look out for Jay himself. We'll drop his information down in the video. And it's been a great week.
Yep. I caught up with clients as well. Because I did a birthday video for someone. It was kind of like one of those everybody recorded happy birthday messages for somebody, and
that was a great video.
Together. Yeah, apparently I made somebody cry 3 times.
That's good.
Mission accomplished.
One eye photography, we dropping tears out here.
We try, man. We try. But that was fun to make because it was like very simple. But the challenge I had was figuring out a layout. Like everybody sent me like so many different messages, and what I did is I took the hellos from everyone, and then in the middle I put their happy birthday messages, like their well wishes and stuff like that, and then I ended it with everybody saying happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to One Republic song, which I think was what was tugging at the heartstrings. So
and plus the way you cut it up was nice.
cool.
Especially shout out to your barber as well for cutting it up. I don't know if you guys are listening in your car right now, you're going to have to visualize this, but Jay has some incredible curls going on right now.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Shout out to Sanyo, man. No, I hit him up. I always hit up Sanyo like the day of because I'm always so busy with doing all the things. Today I had scheduled 4 sessions with some of the kids that I work with. And 3 out of the 4 flaked, disappeared off the face of the earth. Don't know where they are, whatever.
Missing children is never a good thing.
No, but these kids are missing for a whole different reason. But it gets really frustrating when you're like have a day scheduled and you're thinking that you're busy all day and then you're sitting there for 3.5 hours, 4 hours wasting away.
And unfortunately, you can't depend on the adults because that's half of the problem.
Yeah. So I hit up Sanyo while I was like sitting there doing nothing, and I was like, "Yo, are you busy by any chance? Give me a cut tonight." And he was like, "Yeah, come through." And I came through, and this is part of mental health, right?
Yes.
Grooming yourself.
Well, it's on top of the part that does the mental health thing for you. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that today. The rest of the week was okay, I guess. Working on I worked on that birthday video, like I mentioned. I worked on the podcast video and the promo clip. Because I was setting up the template because I usually do work on the laptop. So this week I was working on the big computer, and I set up the template on the computer. So now it'll be easier to work on the podcast video on the computer in the promo videos for future reference. Outside of that, I've been okay. Mental health wise, been good.
Why not great?
Could be better. Mainly because of work, I think.
Yeah. Is it because it's back?
No, it's because it's draining just sitting there waiting for kids to show up. Granted, kids are like always stuck on their phones all damn day, and then when you're like, "Hey, we have a session at 12:30," and at 2:30 you're still waiting for them to pop into the fucking room, and then you're texting people like, "Hey, I'm still here." Oh, at 3:30 they're like, "Hey, is the meeting still going on?" I'm like, "No, this was supposed to be at 12:30. What do you think I'm?" And I digress. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's been good.
That's good.
I had a fun time yesterday. The restaurant was really good. the ambiance is amazing. Like you step foot in the place and like just the way they lay it out, it doesn't feel like you're in Jersey. It feels like you're either in Cali or Europe somewhere, because you walk into the place, obviously it's outdoor seating. There's a bar to the left. Obviously the hostess is to the left, and then behind her is the bar. Yeah. Because they have separated with like plastic guards, like separating the groups that are in there, and nobody's like regarding any of those.
It has like a 70s vibe, right? A little bit, yeah. It looks like it could be in like a James Bond flick.
Yeah, I could see that. Or it could be like in a mountain somewhere. Like in a cool bar, restaurant somewhere in the mountains.
I like that.
But the food was good. I thought when the bill came, I thought it was going to be way more than that, considering the amount of food that we ordered. And the passion fruit macaroon. I need a Santa Claus bag full of those Santa Claus bag. It was
those
really things
good.
were amazing. But
we gotta let our listeners know, like, hey, when it comes to like eating out, Benatton never skips.
Word. It's like when you go out to a place, right? The restaurant looks cool. Might be a little pricey, but it's like you gotta try different things off the menu.
Experience.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's usually what we do. We order a couple things, and then, you know, if we like things, then maybe we order it next time. If not, we try something new, stuff like that. So let's see, what else happened this week? Nothing eventful that I can think of.
Yeah.
It was a pretty blah week.
It was kind of interesting. I want to know your take on this. Maybe we can segment into...
Just jump right into What's the Wave?
What's the Wave?
Okay. So the second part of the show, the segment is What's the Wave? And this is basically just speaking of current events, anything that we want to bring up that's in the news or anything that happened to us in general this week. So you go ahead, because I have a bunch of things that I want to touch upon.
Gotcha. So I posted on my social media, like I went to CVS, and this is when it first caught my attention, but I think is something that is a big topic of discussion, and I want to have your thoughts on it. But I saw literally a sign that was printed out saying that the Federal Reserve is running out of certain types of currency, and that...
Well, they're not producing anymore.
Not producing it anymore. So I thought that was interesting. What do you think about, a world...
What are your fears, first and foremost?
My fears? For me, it's the manipulation of what could be. I mean, right now, we do live in a half physical currency, half digitized currency, right? And a lot of the times we can see that sometimes people get the wrong money in their bank accounts or whatever the case may be. You won't have anything of... physical value to trade. You won't be able to do any small jobs on the side without being tracked or seeing where the funds come from. You won't be able to do certain things like that, where a lot of people thrive off of those jobs. I think it's also a big way of, getting people out of the country, whether they're immigrants. Like, there's no way immigrants will be able to make money unless people find fake ways of making accounts. There's going to be a lot of change with that.
Okay. Now I can see where you're going with this. Okay. So
they say money's dirty, but I think people play dirty too. So it's like in that type of world where you can manipulate, maybe cutting off funds from somebody or whatever the case may be. Like,
do you think the world will eventually go into just straight digital currency?
I guess so. But it's interesting, like
whatever.
Cryptocurrency is kind of like, as much as I'm telling you, if I'm like a bank, if I'm a system of a bank, what I've seen a lot of banks do is saying that, hey, my bank has $2 when we really only have $1. They're going to say, I'm going to lend you one of my dollars and you have to pay me back more than the dollar I gave you, but we don't really have it. So a lot of the time, a lot of people put down payments or loans that they get from a house, but these banks don't even really have it. That's a world of digitized currency. They just ask for it. It ends up a number in your computer. It's not something you can physically or have or that's tangible. So for me, there's a lot of blurred lines with that type of thing, versus if I brought you a briefcase of money, at least the paper is of value that was printed on, even if it's not as much as the number that's on the bill. But you know what I'm saying? It's something like that.
So you're saying seeing that sign is...
It's something we're gonna have to get used to, but like
omen of things to come.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I just feel like first they're gonna say, you know, it's dirty, money's dirty, so people could get sick from it. You know, we've heard it for years, even growing up. They're like, you don't know if this has been, you know, next to somebody that do drugs, a stripper's ass. Like, you don't know where money's been, right? So, but at the same time, it's like it's the same thing. If I said, hey, like, there's not going to be any more gold, there's not going to be any more, you know, paintings because you can't trade those anymore. It's like it's a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't think in this lifetime it'll be anything like that. I haven't read or seen or heard anything about them going straight or eliminating that kind of currency anytime soon or at all.
It could be.
I mean, it's always a possibility, but I definitely don't think in this lifetime.
I saw a couple articles in Forbes actually about cryptocurrencies becoming the mainstream very soon, within the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. We'll revisit this conversation then. I mean, I can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but I can feel in general? I could definitely see the fears. I can definitely see where that can be some form of control.
Yeah. Most people use plastic. They use their phones now. There's very little time, but like, you know,
especially when you put into the perspective of, you know, people having, you know, side hustles or that's their main source of income, getting paid under the table and stuff like that, especially for immigrants and people that are undocumented and stuff like that. So I could definitely see those fears. And
especially if there's an IRS just watching everything that you do, you can't do any side hustles.
It's easier to track that. It's easier to track you in general if you're always using a card or some kind of
you can
digital
see
currency.
Where you're spending your money. That means you can't really, you know, there's a lot of things that changes.
There's like pros and cons, and I see like the pros of it. Obviously, me not being undocumented, it's like it is what it is. I mean, obviously I can't do any side gigs then, but even then it's like, you know, everything we're doing, especially with our business, is funneling through digitally. So I don't even know if that's the right word. What would you call it? Digital currency? What's a better word for it?
Well, I would say we have
just payments, like credit card payments and stuff like that.
We have invoicing.
So we invoice our clients, and our clients pay with credit cards or whatever form of payment they want to pay, whether it's Cash App, Venmo, stuff like that. So we keep track that way. I see the convenience in it, but then obviously you see the cons, which is, you know, obviously people tracking you wherever you go, and not for us, mostly for, you know, the people that are under the radar or trying to be under the radar because they are undocumented and stuff like that. So that was kind of brings me back to the conversation that we had several weeks ago when we were talking about how they were allowing undocumented immigrants to get their driver's license for the first time, and I'm just like, that seems a little fishy to me. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really put much thought into it until you actually brought all those things up. So I could definitely see the what's the word I'm looking for? The stipulations of the manipulation of this congregation. Was it they used to talk like that, like Jesse Jackson or something? Or Al Sharpton, one of those guys. But I thought it was,
I mean, like, it's, you know,
it's definitely interesting because we're living in this world where it's like you actually see a sign like that I never thought I would ever see in my life. It's oh, the federal bank stopped producing coins, so we're lacking coins at the moment. So where are the other coins?
What do you think about the mandatory mask wearing from Murphy's Law?
Did he call it Murphy's Law?
No.
I know we were talking about it the other day. I was like, he dropped the ball. He had the perfect opportunity to call it Murphy's Law. Actually, that brings me to a question that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think U.S. being the land of the free with the Constitution and your right to exercise your right as an American citizen, do you think that's to our detriment at this time?
Yeah.
At this point in time?
For me, I don't. if the U.S. is a business, which it is, the U.S. is basically a company, right? I don't think any company should ever sell something to their customers that you don't really have behind the product, and freedom is one of them. I think that's been like hypocrisy for a long time, and unfortunately, we should have been like, there's a lot of fine lines under freedom. You know what I'm saying? So like, especially now, there are governors, but I don't think they should quote unquote govern the way that we do everything. I think everybody, you know, I think it's just like it's like anything else in this life, you know. There's certain rules, there's certain boundaries. It's for the citizen to oblige. So he can say something and it's for that person's, it could work to their benefit, it could work to their detriment, right? But I think, okay, maybe somebody can learn their lesson or whatever the case may be. We don't want to infect everybody, but at the same time, my concerns were just like, I remember where everybody mocked the mask in the beginning of coronavirus, right? Everybody mocked it saying, hey, it doesn't do anything. And now it's mandatory, which to me, you know me, I'm always going to question that. Secondly, you know, there's been tests done where people go in with like paintball masks and they don't really help with anything, right? You can still spit through them or whatever. But I feel like it's more of a, hey, you know, I was reading a couple articles, again, this could be conspiracy wise, where I know the virus is real, but it's so close to the common flu, right? So the people that build the antibodies or whatever the case may be, is that you can wear a mask, you know, in larger crowds, we should all be wary of each other. It's a respect thing in the sense that whether you had the virus, you don't know how you had the virus, or what the case may be, we're just trying to get to a point where the virus can't survive. And I understand that, right? I personally don't wear a mask when I'm walking. When I end up in a crowded area, I'll wear the mask. If I'm crossing somebody in the street, especially if it's an elderly person or whatever, I'm doing it for those people that don't really have a fighting chance. If I'm seeing a heavy set person that you know by default has some health problems, and I'm not just saying heavy set in the sense like, okay,
let's go with the elderly one.
Huh?
Let's go with the elderly example.
Yeah, the elderly example. But I'm saying when you know somebody has some type of underlying health issues, those are the people that are at risk that don't really have a fighting chance if they get it. Because it's that borderline. It is the flu, but it's stronger. And the way that there's not a given remedy right now, like a proven remedy, I think that's where we have to be careful. I'm also proud of our area because New Jersey has been one of, like, I saw the green.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I saw Jersey. You know, you guys think we're filthy, but we were literally one of the states that were the cleanest in the green, where other states, surrounding states, and the rest of America were orange in the red. So
shout out to Jersey.
Again, virus is real. What it's being used for, again, I don't always believe everything in the media and this and that. I think there's a lot of learning we all need to do. I just don't like where we're going in this world, because I've had even experiences in the post office. I'm wearing a mask, right? 6 feet apart, but some people look at you like this whole distance thing is creating aggravation with people. And I don't like that. I think people are becoming more fearful of people. There's less unification when there needs to be. And I feel like in that sense, I don't know what's going on the U.S. soil or in the world in general, but I feel like there's such a tense separation when we need to do a lot more educating of our, you know, surroundings.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I'm out there, I try to be mindful, obviously, and respectful of everybody's space. And I've always been that pound guy. So this is like no change for me. I'm always with the pounds. Yeah. So that hasn't changed much. I don't mind the mask too much anymore. And again, it's mostly for others, because I did my test. I came out negative, so I'm good. But even then, it's like, God forbid I ever get it. My immune system is pretty good. I haven't had health complications really. So it's mostly for others around me that I'm doing it. And
Do you feel like that could be called conditioning if you felt like something was annoying and it didn't feel healthy at first, but now it feels regular?
What did?
Could be like smoking, right? You smoking, you cough at first, your body rejects it, but it's like wearing a mask. I'm seeing like
the
people
never
are
bother me.
People are passing out while running and stuff. Like
you shouldn't be wearing a mask while running.
a lot of people do. I see people riding bikes.
You shouldn't. While you're outside, you should be fine. Like people are taking this to an extreme where it's like I go for runs every single day.
Yeah,
there's people that go for runs with masks on.
Yeah.
Why? It's an open space.
Yeah, because I'm saying, well, that's what I'm getting to from a scientific standpoint is that if the air purifies itself, like if somebody sneezes while running and I'm walking up your block, the droplets have a certain amount of time to hit the ground. So if I walk into your sneeze while you were running,
well, then that's that person's respect to sneeze into their goddamn elbow.
A lot of people don't.
But see, that's the thing. That's all about respect,
Yeah.
like, and all about fucking manners. Like, who sneezes out into the air like that? That's gross.
I hear it all the time.
I'm sure. Yeah, I absolutely think so. Yeah,
People sound like they're dying.
it definitely happens. Yeah, but it's like I said, it's like you're out in the open. That's the time you shouldn't be wearing a mask, and it is what it is. Like you say, if you're in a crowded area, cool, throw it on. Whatever, it is what it is. Make it a fashion statement. Get a cool one that
Because I've
feels
seen
comfortable on your face.
a lot of local restaurants too. I think that a lot of people. I'm kind of skeptical because I think a lot of business owners, whether they were successful in the past or not, are trying to make their dime back from being closed for so long or not having the same clientele that they're used to having. So I've seen like a lot of the distancing within restaurants being completely
a little too flexible.
Yeah, too flexible to being completely neglected. And again, we're here, whether you're listening, whether you believe the virus is real, whether you believe it's not, whether you think it's agenda driven, if you think it's just something that, hey, we just gotta adult get up on the fucking horse and get past. It's one of those things. If we're talking about precautionary steps, I'm thinking like I'm seeing a lot of rules being broken, and that's a disrespect that some people just live for that club life and they don't give a fuck about anything that's going on outside of that. So then you see a whole bunch of people like,
But see, that's my thing, and that's the question that I wanted to ask you. It's like I feel like everybody is pulling this. It's my constitutional right to do this. It's my right to do that. You can't do this to me. You can't do that to me. Because it's like Florida now is mandating to wear masks everywhere now. And now everybody is in an uproar.
Because I don't think people know the truth. So I find with humans, and this goes, this can even go to the context of religion. People are going to find answers for themselves when they don't know what's going on. We don't know what's on the other side of life. People are going to say heaven. Some people are going to say it's just nothing but death. And that's all you get. So for us, we don't know the other side of this current situation. So we're on the fence about what we know, what we believe, and how we're going to go about it. And I think that's a freedom in itself. You can believe what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just again,
but you should believe what you want, but respect others.
Exactly. It goes exactly back to what we were discussing last week about the prejudice, the racism, the different groups, whether you're a Nazi, whether you're a Black Panther, whether you're a Blood, whether you're a Crip, whether you're a Quaker. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? There's so many different types of people. You should have your right to speak or not exactly do what you always want if it's going to harm other people, but we should live in a world where I hear you. Can you respect my end as well and have that open discussion?
And that's the way I feel about everything. It's like if you don't believe the virus is real, okay, but at least respect. Give me my 6 feet. If you're not gonna wear a mask, then don't judge me for wearing one. It's like everything else. It's like you said, religion. If you don't believe in that person's religion, respect it. If you don't believe in, you don't understand somebody that's trans, at least respect it.
Exactly.
You may never understand it, but at least respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Respect it.
So, I brought that up to say this. It's like I feel like Europe and let's say the eastern side of the world.
Yes.
Minus, I don't know what's going on in Africa. How's it going on in Africa? Nobody really mentions Africa, actually, now that I think about it.
I heard a crazy story out of Australia, though. They had 6 project complexes on lockdown, not letting anybody in or out for food. People have been stuck there. And some people have literally
Starved to death.
been running out of the building for food, saying, "You can shoot me down or kill me. I need to get something."
See, that's when it gets scary. See, what I wanted to bring up is, do you think the control that they have in the Eastern Hemisphere should have been applied over here to prevent the spread? Because Europe was on lockdown for how many months?
Yeah.
The Asian countries were on lockdown for how many months?
You know what it is? It's this is, I think, our government system here is like, it's messed up in the sense that you ever get the same news from two different people, one that you like and one that you don't, but it's the same news. You listen in sometimes. There's people that probably told you things millions of times. You didn't listen until the person you like told you the same thing. And I feel we live in that type of government where if the current president told us that, hey, if the current president said something like Governor Murphy did, where masks are mandatory, everybody's going to be in uproar. You can't tell me what to do, which a lot of these countries like China kind of live under a dictatorship. But the dictatorship, that part of dictatorship where there is that control, kind of got shit.
Thank you.
Organized, right?
Thank you for that.
But no problem. But what I'm saying is that, if you have the leniency of what we consider a democracy, right? Because we don't live in we're in between democracy and monarchy. But if people get too pushed by somebody they don't like, right? Obama could come to the stand, right? Obama could say something, half America's gonna say fuck him, the other's gonna say God bless you for saying it, right? Same thing with Trump. Half of them are gonna say fuck you for saying it, half of them are gonna say God bless America, right?
But what if...
So people are very torn. I'm saying from a propaganda standpoint, right now, there's such a divide between hard right, hard left, hard right and left that's dealing with prejudice and sickness, and hard right dealing with the same thing, right? We are living in a very sensitive time. So those things is like, maybe the guy you don't like is saying the right thing that can help everybody, but it's coming from the guy you don't like. So that's the hardest part. So where are we going to listen? That's the problem.
And see, that's the conversation I actually had today with somebody, and it's like, has Trump ever said, okay, everybody wear the mask is cool?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, so we have the pro-mask people, right?
Yes.
Which you would say don't really fall under the Republican...
Yeah, I
you
feel
would
like
say the anti-maskers are mostly Republican people. They're just like, this is my right as an American to not wear this mask. It's causing me problems with my health and shit like that. So if this motherfucker were to just say, okay, everybody wear your mask for like 2 weeks and everything will be under control, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think that would be a much better thing? Or at least more people from that side would be like, oh, our fearless leader said to wear the mask.
Yeah.
So we wear the mask.
But see, I know that media-wise, headline-wise, there would be so much disrespect about us saying, oh, they're going to... At that point, if Trump said wear your mask, they're going to start photoshopping the Hitler mustache on him with the mask and say the
you
new
think
America.
His people would turn on him if he were to do something like that?
No, because the thing is, if you're pro somebody, you're pro somebody. So you
think just the media or the other side is gonna ridicule him for
the thing is, if people want a leader, right? A leader is going to tell you what to do, period, right? So that's where the complication lies.
Actually, a real leader guides you in the right direction.
Yeah, a real leader guides you in the right direction. But this is when we're talking about guidance, right? I think that a lot of us, where we are in a generation of abundance of information, we are being misled, even by our own peers sometimes, because some people, again, we are torn with what we think is right. So it's not even, I might think I'm doing the right thing by saying, hey, like, you shouldn't really wear your mask because, one, you're just breathing in your carbon dioxide. It's going to get you more sick. Then there's the other side that says wear your goddamn fucking mask and respect everybody because that's the right thing to do.
Did you see that video of Bill Nye, the science guy, put out?
Yes. So
if you're not listening to Bill Nye.
But again, maybe Bill Nye is being paid under the table with a gun to his head saying, you need to do this.
Maybe.
That's why, again,
he's not even a science guy here.
I'm not trying to go too deep in conspiracy, but the thing is you must question things, right? The beauty about science is that there's a lot of hypothesis, right? You do test to find the answer. And I think that we should do a lot of tests to find the answers that we need. I don't think we should have one, if somebody tells you this, right? I'm telling from a science standpoint because I don't know either, right? COVID came. You were COVID free, okay? Even if you got COVID, you're a fairly healthy person. I know you for a long time. If you create antibodies in your system, right? What's the reason you need the vaccine?
I don't necessarily need it.
I know. But if they said you need the vaccine, you're going to say why, right? A lot of people won't.
Okay.
And it's one of those things like, why are we pushing the vaccine then? Isn't that...
People are pushing the vaccine because they are in fear right now of the unknown. This thing apparently changes every other day. Yeah, there's different symptoms and that's every other day. It reacts differently to people
when it's mutating as well,
person to person basis. So,
because I know people that have died from this, knowing that this is real, and I know people that have survived this, and I know people that maybe had it, and it was now it's negative. So again, the best thing, my best advice. I'm not saying you have to agree with this. I would say dig deep during these times. Don't fall back and wait for everybody else to say something. Really dig deep on a science level when it comes to the virus. Put together reason, approach this like you would any other seasonal flu, right? Be sanitary. Respect people around you. Like Jay said, try to cough into your arm even if you don't have a mask. Stop the spread of, let all those pellets hit your t-shirt, your arm, instead of hitting the air. Also, if you're in large crowds, wear masks. If you don't feel safe in a certain area, instinctively,
don't be there.
Don't be there. Don't be stubborn. And I think that's
a bigger conversation too, where it's like, if you take care of your immune system, you don't have to not necessarily worry about it, but it doesn't hit you as hard. You know what I'm saying? If you have a clean bill of health, if you eat the right stuff, if you're, this damn virus is taking out people that have underlying health issues. You know what I mean? Some people, unfortunately, are born with some of these things, but you know what I'm saying? And then it comes down to that respect thing. It's like, if you know somebody has this stuff, then you be extra cautious because of these people.
Yeah, don't drink a gallon of soda and then wear a mask and be like, I'm healthy. No, balance out your lifestyle.
So, I mean, like I said, we could go on for days and days about this, but
I think it's a great conversation though, because even though I know a lot of you guys get frustrated on your end. Maybe it's something Jay says, maybe it's something I say, or maybe you're just in tune. I wouldn't say you're always constantly frustrated, but there are so many dimensions to these conversations that you're right, we could go on forever.
We really can. And it's like, going back to the anti-maskers, it's like they have this mentality of some people actually, I know some people that actually don't believe this virus exists. Okay. And it blows my mind. And even if you do feel like it doesn't exist, then why are you willing to roll the dice with something like this? You know what I mean?
Are we seeing anti-mask in a negative context, or anti-mask in the sense they just feel like that's their...
It's just the umbrella term, I guess, that they're giving to the people that don't believe. Somebody put it into perspective when I first... all this shit started first happening. It's like, if you have 5 Skittles laying in front of you, one of them is going to kill you. Are you going to eat that Skittle? Or are you going to eat one Skittle knowing that one of them could possibly kill you?
Some people might take that chance.
Some people might.
Because they love them Skittles.
But that's the thing. I'm not willing to take that chance. Or if you have 5 Skittles in front of you, one of them will kill you. but the other 3, and there's 1 that's good, 3 could possibly kill your grandmother, or your old uncle, or your father that has diabetes. You know
what I think is just funny? I know a lot of people that they'll do drugs, they'll eat unhealthily, and then things like this come along, and like the fear becomes overwhelming. It's like you're playing roulette. It's like it's what people consider taboo, and what people like. It's okay.
Is roulette a French word?
Roulette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a French word?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been saying roulette the wrong way this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
People always. Well, the thing isn't not people saying it wrong. It's just when you speak English, you say all the letters that you see in the word versus French. A lot of those
silent
letters
they kind of just
fall off. Yeah, because like croissant versus croissant.
Say it again. Croissant.
Thank you. I don't want to be out here because like the last thing I want to do, especially you being my business partner and Hispanic heritage, I never want to roll in somewhere and say ceviche. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy. Like I want to pronounce
platanos.
Yeah, I want to pronounce the word as as well as you would.
Should. Yeah. Okay. So don't say platanos first and foremost.
We're stopping it. Like again, I see how like I've seen some Hispanic women like. They might think it's cute if you're like some white guy saying it wrong, but like you end up getting married to them, they're gonna slap you on the fucking face and say pronounce it well already, you know. So like for me, I just want to do the same thing in French, like it's croissant. There you go.
Yeah, man. Anything else on what's the wave for you?
Almost what?
On what's the wave?
What's the wave? I guess it's interesting today. I don't know if there's any photographers listening, but the Canon R5 dropped today, and the Canon R5 is a full frame 45 megapixel, shoots raw in 8K with 5-axis stabilization inside the camera. I know that was a lot.
That's a lot.
But it's pretty dope. And it has a tilt screen.
It sounded like the introduction of the Avengers. Is like it has Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, for photography world and video world, in like if you guys are like mirrorless DSLR fans, if that's like your thing, you know, if you have a lot of vloggers out there, your boy Peter McKinnon, since he is a Canon
connoisseur,
he's a Canon connoisseur, and he like speaks on Canon's behalf. He got an early test
sponsored. He's sponsored by Canon.
He's
right?
sponsored by Canon, so he got an early like test with the camera, and I was watching the video today. Really crazy for a DSLR to be able to shoot raw like you do in cinema cameras and 8K, and then you get 45 megapixel stills and all like that. That's think crazy. That we'll see even in our own game. Like you're gonna see a lot of people with these new Canon R5s shooting at weddings and stuff like that. So
it's be like, all right, buddy, we get it. I wanted to kind of go off the momentum of the last 2 episodes and mention a couple of things that I saw on social media and the news.
Let's do.
As far as, you know, just the Black Lives Matter and, you know, just things that have been going on that are a little suspicious that I want people to look into if they want to.
Okay.
There is a gentleman by the name of Amani Kildea. That's Kildea. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing it, but he was a 20-year-old male who was actually found hanging from a tree in Lewis Morris Park in Morristown, New Jersey.
That is close.
Morristown, New Jersey.
Why?
That is 20 minutes down 80.
Did this hit the news, by the way?
I don't watch the news, so okay. I can't tell you.
I
just saw it on social media.
Like, so is at least a social media clip from a news program?
No, I've been reading articles on Twitter and shit. But basically, the Black Lives Matter, the Morristown chapter, the Morris County chapter, is raising suspicions because the Morris County prosecutor by the name of Frederick Knapp states that there's no evidence to believe that there is any criminality involved. But
there's no criminality
involved. But
so they're saying it's a suicide.
They're saying it's a suicide.
Oh, come on.
But the chapter is pushing back because of the different circumstances. One of them being that he lived an hour away. It's like, what's he doing over here? Does he have a vehicle?
And
Nobody
why
knows.
would he hang himself in
a park
in public?
Right. But another thing that popped up was that he's part of this group that he started with his friends. Remember we were talking, was it me and you that we were talking about Chris Hansen? Oh, no, I think I was talking about somebody else, Chris Hansen catching a predator. He has like his own little thing about that.
Really?
Where he's caught actually 30 people with his friends exposing pedophiles in the Morris County and surrounding areas.
So this person that hung themselves was a pedophile?
No, he was caught 30 pedophiles with his friends. Like he started like a little sting operation where he would show up to places.
A pedophile could have hung this.
Maybe.
Wow.
So that's one of the questions they're raising. They're like, maybe that's a motive for somebody to want to hurt him or kill him or whatever. Another one was that the prosecutor opened and shut the case so quickly. Apparently he opened it up and in 72 hours he was like, nope, it's a suicide.
This was apparently a black male.
Yeah.
It's been nothing but black males, so like it's not like there's not like we're throwing a mix in of like
20-year-old black male who had a lot going for him.
Wow.
I can't say that on the surface level, you know, somebody that has a lot going for them aren't going through their own struggles or whatever. But apparently this prosecutor didn't do all his research as far as whether this young man was suffering from mental health issues or if he had any issues going on at home or if they even pinged his phone when he was missing. I don't know if they even, as of Tuesday when I was reading the article, I don't even think they interviewed any of his friends and stuff like that. So there's a lot of red flags. Maybe he did hang himself, suicide, but there's a lot of red flags there. That's what everybody's trying to get answers for. And apparently this guy's just like shutting the case so quick.
You know what 2020's been like? And I think that you're going to agree with me on this one.
Like the shirt?
Yes. 2020 is like, remember when I used to overwhelm you with YouTube videos to the point it doesn't probably even hit you? That's how 2020 is.
Like sometimes he would send me a video. I'm like, I'll watch it later. I forget to watch it.
Like 2020, there is too much going on that you can't even feel the impact that you should from something.
Right.
Like if somebody's being like hung in public, like we should all be like, one, like I wouldn't say in tears, we should feel saddened, we should feel upset. But then you have that and then it's followed by there's another spike in COVID, and then somebody is like, okay, now mandatory masks, and the stock market is crashing, you know, and it just keeps going and going. And then it's like Black Lives Matter movement versus KKK, Sean King, this is that, and it's like
it's a lot.
There's too much. And then at the same time, right, we all kind of feel like, can we help others when we almost have to help ourselves selfishly? Because it's like, if we don't survive in our own little communities, what happens? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can I get food on my table? Yeah. Can I even have the empathy that I need for this news? You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, that's crazy.
It gets so crazy. And actually, I was toying with the idea of actually bringing up another segment, sadly, bringing up a segment just for that, just bringing awareness to different things that aren't popping up on huge media platforms. And it's sad to say that on a weekly basis, there's more than a ton of cases that you can like bring up and stuff like that. But,
I think that's our responsibility, again, to our listeners and everybody else, that we just talk about so many things that might spark some type of initiation with you guys. It might be health, it might be emotionally, it might be from a creative aspect, it might be something, I never knew that, that's interesting, let me start that, or whatever the case may be. But like, you know, that's the beauty about the podcast generation, the indie artist generation. We're kind of I wouldn't say we are 100% taking over for news and stuff, but we are our little,
we're doing our part to kind of,
we're trying to do our best to give you truth, sincerity, and a little bit of unbiased. You know, I know what I believe, I know Jay believes what he believes, but we try to keep it as an open discussion. Again, we don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we also want to spark and ignite that conversation.
I mean, no, we're no experts in any sense of the word, but
Disclaimer, at least we're not telling you this is the land of the free and then we chain you up.
Exactly. We're no experts. We're just telling you guys what we see on social media, and so you guys can do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But
exactly.
I also wanted to update everybody on the case that I was talking about last week, the Vanessa Guillen one, the soldier that went missing.
Yes.
Apparently they identified the body as being her, at least from what I saw.
How was it found?
Dismembered in several locations, but
Jesus Christ.
The guy that was the lead suspect killed himself, like I mentioned last week. He was a 20-year-old soldier. I don't even think he was a sergeant. He was pretty young.
He was a suspect or somebody they just want to question that was close to her?
He was a suspect and killed himself, quote unquote. But then that raised those questions of the army and military hiding things and stuff like that. So now that's bringing more awareness to how much the military actually hides things, because a lot of people are bringing up their stories and how they were sexually abused up to like even 40, 50 years ago. There was like some lady that was saying that, actually I think it might have been like 30 years ago. And she was like, yeah, I was raped at this, this Navy base somewhere, and nobody said anything. But it just sad, man. I want to look more into it before I speak on it. But
I'm glad 2020 has been a year of at least people speaking up and again unveiling a lot of truths, a lot of harsh truths, but truths nonetheless, and that's what we need more of.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on some of this stuff. So, I mean, the other thing that happened in that case is apparently the girlfriend of the guy that committed suicide was arrested in connection to that, saying that she helped him get rid of the body. But we may never know the full truth.
I watched that 1999 film called Double Jeopardy, and I know how crazy things can get.
On a lighter note, let's have you heard about Claudia Conway?
Why does that sound so familiar?
Maybe because of the name Conway, probably. Well, Claudia Conway is I believe she's 15. Hey. I believe she's 15 or 16-year-old daughter of the White House advisor Kellyanne Conway.
Okay, that's why.
She made the news lately because she's been posting a lot of pro-Black Lives Matter and anti-Trump tweets.
That's interesting.
And TikTok videos.
Interesting.
And she went like a full week of posting a bunch of things, going live on TikTok with her mom being pissed off and trying to compose herself when she was being filmed and stuff like that. And I just find it so crazy how a 16-year-old
family, but
her 16-year-old daughter has a mind of her own and is completely going against what her mom is working for, or who her mom is working for.
Kellyanne Conway she's usually speaking for the press before the president,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and apparently now her parents are trying to silence her because obviously everybody was riding the Claudia Conway train for a little bit. So they took down a bunch of her posts because a lot of reporters were trying to reach out to her, and her father was, I don't know, trying to shut things down and stuff like that. So shout out to that young queen, Claudia Conway, for speaking up and having a mind of your own, even though your parents are nuts. But I think that's it for now. No, what's the wave? You have anything else?
I mean, there are so many different things. I think I'm going to leave it as is for today. We did speak on a lot of different points, but we'll be back next week.
Cool. Do you have a gallery artist? So the last segment of the show is the gallery, and the gallery is our way of shining a light on a up and coming artist of some kind, influencer, Instagram page, small business of any kind. That way the few listeners that we do are listening to the show can head over to that person and show them some support. So
you have one?
You want to go first?
I was gonna look mine up because I don't want to get names wrong, but
all right. So I want to shout out a gentleman by the name of Rich, and it's not you.
Oh.
A young man named Rich Zeller from Jersey, who has, I believe he runs a podcast or some kind of show, Hip Hop Hour, on Twitch, where he showcases Jersey artists. which is really dope. So he, I think he's a Spotify playlist curator as well.
Really?
I've just been following him recently, and I've been seeing his moves, and I like what he's doing.
Nice.
As far as having a platform for Jersey artists to be heard and seen by other people. So I just wanted to shout him out real quick. His Instagram is It's Rich Z.
Okay.
So Rich Zeller,
Gotcha.
putting on for Jersey. So shout out to him. And I also wanted to shout out another page that shows love to Jersey artists. It's actually at Jersey Artists. I actually started following them when they had maybe like 2,000 or 3,000 followers.
Okay.
And they are now up to 19.1 thousand followers.
Wow.
And again, they're just like Rich Zeller. They put on for Jersey artists. They're just like a kind of like a media page, I guess you would call it, where they would showcase Jersey talent of any kind: comedians, musicians, Instagram influencers, dancers. Yeah. So anything out of Jersey, they're promoting. And I wanted to shout them out for their growth in the last year or so, because I think I've been following them for about a year, and they've just blossomed from, like I said, 2,000-3,000 followers when I first started following them to 19,000. So
19,000.
Yeah. So I wanted to shout them out for, also using their platform for, shedding light, kind of like what we're doing with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. So,
that's dope.
And also, again, for shouting out Jersey artists, because we know how hard it is for us to get a name for ourselves out here, and how difficult it is for us to put our content in front of new eyes and ears. So shout out to Jersey artists and Rich Zeller on the gallery this week.
So I got two people. One I know closely, and I got to see a whole different perspective. You know him as well. There's a big shout out to Johnny Petrosino. We live in the same building. He is such a dope creative artist in his own. He lives, speaks, breathes his artistry. He is, I guess some people would consider him older, but he has such a young spirit, and even in his, I guess, his category, his bracket, his age, he's making awesome moves all the time. He's in our music videos. He gave me a haircut. So he is a barber. He is a model. He is a visionary in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He's gotten Vogue. He's doing a lot of things that people dream to do and give up on it early in their life, not thinking that they're able to do it later in their life. Age, and, as artists, people don't realize, like, we do struggle with so many things between politics, finances to keep our lifestyle together, investing in ourselves and everything else. And I think that Johnny, again, he's such a pure artist, and I just want to give him respect. He gave me a haircut, and then he
was in our music video.
He was in our music video again.
Everybody asks us, like, who, at least me, I don't know if they ask you, but they always ask me who are those two older people in the Finish Line music video. If you haven't watched it yet, go over to YouTube, shameless plug, and watch the Finish Line music video, which we self-directed and edited ourselves. And the two older couple, the older couple that's in the video, he is the male lead in that video. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Johnny.
And I saw him outside the other day.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it's funny because even Jay and I, like, when we were checking out, like, the rooftop of the apartment building, because we had a couple ideas of our own, like, he was out there working. He's always constantly working. He's always trying to better his life, his situation. I just want to give props to him. Second artist / tech company that I wanted to talk about was, they've been blowing up like crazy. I think I said I was going to mention them last time. It's called Hollyland Tech. And basically right now they're in the game of what we call transmitters. They kind of look like walkie-talkies, but they're made for your camera and video gear. So if you guys ever been on a big set where you can kind of see like antennas coming from the camera. And then sometimes you guys see somebody with like a production screen, and you see all the shots being done. Like you guys probably see it behind the scenes on music video shoots. Mm-hmm. It's such a great company, because there was another company called Teradek. And Teradek was like that top of the line. You got to come out of pocket like crazy to even have this type of video transmission. But Hollyland came around, just like the other company I said, Atlas, and they made affordable transmitter gear for a lot of indie artists on a pro grade level. So shout out to them. They've been selling like hotcakes. I picked up a pair of what we call the Mars 400S for One Eye Photography. So it's going to be really nice when the client can see the shots back on a big screen, where you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the terminology, where you can have a focus puller, where somebody, a lot with like cinema cameras, they don't really have auto focusing, so you need somebody to focus the lenses for you as you're walking, or like filming your music video or your short little indie movie. So big shout out to Hollyland Tech. You guys can find them on Instagram. And just like, again, if you're a cinematographer, videographer, dope investment to take your company, your projects to a new level.
Boom. You would think we were sponsored by them. It was a nice commercial. I just wanted to, before we leave, I wanted to give a shout out to the Vision Room.
Yes.
We've shouted them out before, I believe. I don't know if we've had them as a gallery artist, but I wanted to shout them out real quick because I will be there next Friday shooting a birthday shoot.
Cha-ching.
For A-Man Cam. So, yeah, I like that she accommodated me. And I will be bringing her some keto dishes in return. Yes. So shout out to J. Marie of the Vision Room. If you're looking for any studio space in Jersey City or in Jersey in general, they have a really dope spot. Check them out, Jersey City. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now, right?
Yeah.
We've run our course. Run this into the ground. Episode
37 for all you guys listening out there.
Yes,
Thanks again for rocking out with the Terrible Reception radio show.
Yes, sir.
I am Parlay.
Hey, hold on. Remember to head over to YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on that bell notification so that way you get notifications every time.
Notification?
So you get that notification every time we drop a video of some kind on YouTube. Also, leave a review, leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. Even if Apple Podcasts is in your streaming service, just head over there and help us out. Yeah. And also Spotify, just follow the podcast. It's pretty simple. Yeah. And if Spotify is not your choice, do it anyway. Help us out. And
I'm excited to have a guest again sometime soon in the near future.
Yeah. If you know any dope artists, hit us up.
Yes.
We have a list of artists that we're going to interview. But yeah, man, I am Jay Suarez, a.k.a. Jetplane J on social media platforms. And I would like to thank you for joining us for episode 37. Yeah, man. And that's pretty much it for us today.
With that said, let's hit them with the intro in the outro. What, man? What?
Can you hear it?
We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.